جرب خلاص. كمل.
طيب. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. Last time we started with the battle of Mu'tah, the general idea. Today we will be highlighting some of the specific, let's say, incidents around this battle. Next time, if Allah wills, inshallah, we will talk about Fath Makkah, the conquer of Makkah, inshallah, if we stay alive. Just quick reminder for all of us. Now, what we are doing, we are making chronological, historical, let's say, coverage for the Seerah. So we are now in the mid of the 7th Hijri year. So we are in the year 20, تقريبا, more or less, since the start of the revelation of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So Mu'tah, as to the best of our understanding, after Al-Hudaybiyah, which is the Treaty of Al-Hudaybiyah, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam started sending messages to the kings and rulers and the great leaders of their nations. So, in general, all of them either accepted or respected or refused with respect, except the representative of the Byzantine or the Romans at that time, of the Arabic Christian leader who killed the messenger of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Subhanallah. So it's not the Roman who did it, it's the Arabic Christian who did it on behalf of that. So in the diplomatic, let's say, protocols, it's a big insult. So Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam decided to send, an army against them. So it was in the military mathematical calculations, it was a crazy movement. It was nearly impossible. The possibility of success, it was zero. Because they were not expecting what kind of numbers will be waiting for them. So there were 3,000. Khalid al-Walid, he was the leader, Sayfullah, the sword of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They knew while they were approaching what we know now as south of Jordan, which is the area of Ma'an. Now it's part of south of Jordan. When they reached Ma'an, they knew that the Romans, the Eastern Europeans, they have prepared 100,000. And their allies from the Arab Christians, they were another 100,000. So we have 200,000. With 3,000. So we said 1 to 66. So mathematically it doesn't work. So they were they were hesitating because they will be eliminated, they will be vanished, they will be killed in minutes. So they have separated. And if you remember, Abdullah ibn Rawaha, one of the great 3 leaders who passed away as shuhada, as martyrs, he said the very, very famous statements. قال يا قوم إن الذي تخشون للذي خرجتم تطلبون. He was like, give them like a reminder. He said, hey, what you are afraid of actually is what you have already left your Medina, Prophet Muhammad, behind you for, which is martyrship, shahada. And he gave them this kind of motivational, speech and decided. So they decided, they went to the area of Mu'tah. Now the cleverness of Khalid radiallahu anhu, that he forced the 200,000 to be in a very narrow area. This is how the great leaders, they are just 3,000. So he pushed them to meet his army in a narrow area. So they did not have that wide front. So they kept fighting and fighting and fighting. They lost just 12 from the Muslims. Just 12. And they killed hundreds from the Romans. Now, the irony, the Muslims at the end, they withdrew. But the Romans did not chase him. That's why it was considered what? A victory. They did not dare to chase them. طبعا Khalid al-Walid radiallahu anhu, part of his plans, it's taught now in special faculty of the high military staff academic, colleges for the military people. One of the things that he did two great things to the best of my knowledge. At that time they have what they call the heart of the army, the right wing and the left wing, and there, the back, let's say, group. So what he did, he asked, for example, the heart to start withdrawal with the attack of the two wings. Then, the two wings started, for example, withdrawing, then the heart could attack. So they did it in a very organized way. And one of the things that he did, amazingly, he asked a good number of them, let's say few tens, to go back about, let's say, hundreds of meters and to tie big pieces of bushes behind their horses. For example, let's say 100 fighter with 100 horse. Each horse, they fixed with a rope like a small but very wide bush behind it. They started running very quickly. The dust for the Romans, they thought what? They have another few thousands of support for them. They thought we are not able to deal with these 3,000. If they are support with another 3,000 or 4,000, as if we are fighting 60,000. So they spread the fear in their hearts to a degree. When they decided to withdraw, they did not dare to move one, step forward. They just left the Romans. One of the great signs of victory for Mu'tah, that even though they were just 3,000, they lost just 12. Even though they were 200,000, they lost a big number. And the big victory now, after relatively some kind of withdrawal, when the Romans disappear, in the same place of the battle, Muslims returned back and they buried the Sahaba who were killed there. Such as Ja'far, on top of them, the three big leaders, Ja'far radiallahu anhu, and Abdullah bin Rawaha, and Zayd bin al-Haritha. Now, up to this moment, it's part of my country now in Jordan, south of Jordan, in the area of Karak now. We have the province of Karak. We have someone from Karak here. The brother, he's from Karak, by the way. He's from, exactly, it's his town. The brother behind, he's from Karak. Now, it's south of Jordan in the area of Karak now. So there, tombs and places where they were buried still, it's very well known by all the people now. So what does this mean? They had the luxury at that time to return back and to do what? To bury them. The Romans just left the place, even though there were 66 doubles of them. This is the general, let's say, idea of that. Now, I will be picking and choosing some of the narrations, which covers some of, as I told you, sometimes we just pick and choose some of the aspects. We can't cover everything. From the beautiful things and beneficial things. And as you know, Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, one of the great things as a prophet he was doing, at that time they did not have TVs, they did not have internet, they did not have anything. So it was one of the miracles of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as if he was broadcasting live to them what happens there. They were sitting at Al-Madinah. The distance is about 1,100 kilometers. So, which could take in a very slow motion travel in 1 month. It's not something easy for an army, by the way, because sometimes, we say 1,000. 1,000 in our measurements, it could take you 2 days now. Okay? Maybe you take a rest in the way. 2 days with a very good, nice car on the highway. At that time, on a horse or a camel, if you are a caravan, your speed will be what? Less. You need to stop. And by the way, now we stop any kind of break now. For 10 minutes, we can have all types of food. In 15 minutes, we go to the washroom. We do the wudu. We order, we eat, we move. At that time, do you know what does it mean when 3,000 wants to stop to eat? What does it mean? You know what this means? Yes, 3,000 to stop, to untie their personal property, things to prepare the food, to bring the water. They can't hold water all the time with them because it's very heavy. They need to search for water for their camels, for their horses. So just to stop for one meal, it could take you full day. So when you think about how difficult it was. Now Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Anas radiallahu anhu narrates, as al-Bukhari narrated, قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم نعى زيدا وجعفرا وابن رواحة للناس قبل أن يأتيهم خبرهم فقال أخذ الراية زيد فأصيب. Anas radiallahu anhu was narrating how he was telling them about each one of them when he was hit directly. He started to say, such and such person, he passed away as a martyr, may Allah accept from him, while we are sitting in the Medina. So he said, Zayd took the flag, and we explained what does it mean to take the flag. It's the sign that the army is still steadfast and strong and defending itself. If the flag just fall down, it means it's the end of the army. Zayd took the flag and he was hit. Prophet Muhammad, this is the word of Prophet Muhammad. Thumma, as if he's looking like in a screen by the will of Allah, he's watching what's happening and he's telling. Subhanallah. At that time, look to the faith. No one my age. By the way, is there anyone except me and Dr. Mudarris above 50? How many of you are above 50? Can you raise up your hand, please? 1, 2, 3, 4. Will enter below 40. Seriously, you know why I'm asking? Because our age, if you remember Star Wars, Captain's Book, remember? When we used to see this TV on early 80s. You remember when he was speaking with the screen? It was scientific fiction. Do you remember that? It was khayal ilmi. Wallahi, for us, it was scientific fiction. Ooh, let's imagine something impossible to happen. My age. Now, with this piece of plastic, you can see with 4K resolution anyone on Earth directly. Why I'm saying that? Go back to 1400 years when Prophet Muhammad said such and such. No one asked, how do you know this, Mr. Muhammad? Convince me scientifically, I believe in science. You got my point? Yes, they don't know the how. They don't know it. But they believe because it's part of the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now we are witnessing it as part of our life. So because sometimes, why I'm saying that? Because sometimes, how did this happen? I don't know. The power of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If my age was not able to imagine that the direct TV broadcasting is possible. My age. I'm not talking about that. It was scientific fiction. We used to call it أفلام الخيال العلمي. والله. It's subhanallah. قال ثم أخذ ابن رواحة فأصيب وعيناه تذرفان. While he was speaking, he said, Zayd took, Abdullah took, Ja'far took it. He was hit. He was hit. He was hit. He was and he was what? Crying. Sallallahu alaihi wasallam. قال he was, the tears were coming out of his. Because he was witnessing by the will of Allah, as if he's looking at a direct broadcasting screen. قال حتى أخذ الراية سيف من سيوف الله حتى فتح الله عليهم. Till one, he did not say his name. He gave him the title at that time. He said till after the three were killed by names, till one of the swords of Allah took the flag and Allah gave them the victory, which is Khalid radiallahu anhu. Anas in another narration, I'm giving you just bits and pieces from here and there about the battle. Anas in another hadith narrated by Bukhari says, قال لما سئل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم عن شهداء مؤتة قال, he was asked, Ya Rasulullah, tell us about the martyrs of Mu'tah. What their state, their status now, where are they? Are they enjoying? Are they happy? Are they feeling so happy? قال ما يسرهم أنهم عندنا. Don't ever think that they will be more happy to be with us, which means they are much more happy in the place that they went there. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant all of us the place that they went to, which is the Jannah, inshallah. Now, in another narration, Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, Abdullah ibn Umar ibn Khattab, he was with them. He said, قال وقف على جعفر يومئذ, he was in the battle. وقف على جعفر يومئذ وهو قتيل. He is narrating as an eyewitness in the battle. He said, after Ja'far was killed, I stood next to him witnessing. He says, قال فعددت به 50 بين طعنة وضربة ليس منها شيء في دبره يعني في ظهره. He said, when I saw him after he was martyred, I looked at him, I was able to count about 50 places of where he was hit, but between the swords or the arrows or the spears, because the sword is like this, the spear is like this, the arrow will come. So and I thought about 50 places in his body where he was hit, not even one of them in his back, which means was fighting. He was not turning his back and trying to flee or to escape. This is like a sign of what? Bravery. Yes? Sign of bravery. 50 hits in that area, not even one of them, which means he did not even try to evade one of them. Not even like this. No, not even one. Because his back was completely clean. Nothing touched it. It gives you an idea how the bravery and the genuine honesty that when they went to do that to support the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rahimahullah. In another narration narrated by Bukhari as well, قال كان ابن عمر, this same who witnessed Ja'far when he was killed, as I told you. In addition, Ja'far, last time we read, he was holding the flag. If you remember, someone came and he hit one of his two hands, so he cut it from here. What was left is al-adud, this part of the arm, okay? So he lost this part. Then he took it with the other one. Someone else came and he hit it, so he lost the arm up to this. This is called al-adudain. So he was bleeding. Okay, it's very difficult with the pain. Yet he was able with these two adudain to hold the flag. Then someone came and he just finished him. قال عمر says كان ابن عمر إذا حي ابن جعفر, when he used Ja'far the land, he used to have two sons, Abdullah and Muhammad. When he used to see one of them, which is Muhammad bin Ja'far bin Abi Talib or Abdullah bin Ja'far bin Abi Talib, he used to give him the following title. He said, قال السلام عليك يا ابن ذي الجناحين. Said, Assalamu alaikum, O the son of the man of the two wings. Which means it's a nice reflection that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala placed him with the two wings in the Jannah, which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will compensate. And by the way, just to keep in your mind, we in Islam, when someone is killed while defending himself, defending his people, defending his honor, defending his money, defending his family, his wife, his daughter, his whatever, defending all of these things, فَمَنْ قُتِلَ دُونَ مَالِهِ فَهُوَ شَهِيدٌ. Anyone who was killed defending his money is a martyr in Islam. Anyone قُتِلَ دُونَ عِرْضِهِ, your honor, which is all of your family, your wife, your daughter, your sister, your mother, defending. You are defending weak people, oppressed people, you are a martyr. Now, when we speak about martyrship in Islam, we need to know that Prophet Muhammad told us the following, because to be killed while defending your honor or yourself of oppressed people or anyone who are supposed that you are protecting them is not something easy, like Ja'far. And they are chopping your body into pieces. It's not something easy. Prophet Muhammad gave us glad tidings, good news, إشارة. قال إن الشهيد لا يجد من أثر الطعنة إذا طعن إلا كما يجد أحدكم من وقع الذبابة إذا وقعت على يده ثم قال لها هكذا. Look, Muhammad is trying to resemble the level of pain that the martyr will be feeling in reality when he is about to be hit and he will pass away. He said, what he will be experiencing is like when a fly comes into your hand. What kind of pain you feel? Okay, what is the level of pain you feel when you do like this? Nothing. But you know there's something, fly. Which it's a metaphorical expression to tell you, but يا عمي how he's يا عمي قلنا لك how is not under. How do we make medical operations? If we the people are able to open the full body without making you feel pain. Can we or not? When you do a surgery, مخدر شو بالإنجليزي؟ Anesthesia? Anesthesia. Okay. ثقافتي مش طبية. فاسألوا أهل الذكر أصحاب الخبرة. The anesthesia, for example, it's something Allah enabled us to discover where we can open any part of our bodies without feeling the pain. Do you think Allah is not able to let us just have the head without feeling the pain? So how come they are putting a Caesar inside my body and they making a knife and something they're opening for my body while I'm looking sometimes, but I'm full under anesthesia? Is that possible or not? So if we do it, we do it. Allah will not be able to do it? La ilaha illallah. La ilaha illallah. Anyway, but we need to know that about, because it's the good news for the one with the good intention, because in the same thing we need to know the following as well. Subhanallah, because we are not just having information, we need to connect with our faith. Even though martyrship, and it's about martyrship now, because when they went with this number as if all of them will be killed. Yet we need to know the following. أول من تسعر بهم جهنم يوم القيامة ثلاثة أصناف. The first category that Allah will start will be as if they were heating Jahannam at the day of judgment, okay, with the three categories of people. One of them, رجل قاتل يحضر. قال فيما كنت. One of them, which is a category. فيما كنت, what happened to you? You said, يا الله قاتلت فيك حتى قتلت في سبيلك. I was fighting for your sake. And I was killed for your sake. فيقال له كذبت. Said, you have said lies. قاتلت حتى يقال what? شجاع. You were killing to be said what? Brave, hero, celebrity, protecting beautiful girls, nice, hero, MMA fighter. You were not fighting for the sake of Allah. ألا فقط قيل. You were seeking what? Fame. You were seeking what? Reviews on the YouTube, on the TikTok. Kabbas. Okay? So you will say, okay, ألا فقط قيل. It has already been said, and you take your reward from the people. فيلقى في جهنم. And you'll be thrown in the hellfire. So which means the intention. It's very important. It's not just, not by the way, not anyone superficially for us is killed by an enemy is a shaheed, by the way. It depends on my niyyah. Why I'm there? If my niyyah was, maybe I was a spy between them, working with the enemy against them. Is it possible? Yes. Is it true that everyone is killed for his country, is killed for the sake of Allah? No. Some of them just for the salary. Some of them just to be said, brave. It was said, okay. So we need to be careful. It's not just to protect the oppressed or to protect myself. It's my intention. Because some people, they think, so it's very important. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. قال عائشة رضي الله عنها قال, it's another narration narrated by Imam al-Bukhari as well. Aisha says, لما جاء خبر قتل ابن حارثة وجعفر بن أبي طالب وعبد الله بن رواحة رضي الله عنهم جلس رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم يعرف فيه الحزن. He said when he was the one who conveyed for them, after he delivered the message, what he was witnessing by Allah, he himself started to have what? This kind of human natural sadness, especially for Ja'far. Because Ja'far is very close from him and he loves him very much. Ja'far is the son of Ja'far bin Abi Talib. You see, he's the brother of Ali. He was very close to him. He loves him very much, very close to him. So Aisha says he was very sad because of the loss of Ja'far radiallahu anhu. With the natural thing. قالت عائشة وأنا أطلع من صائر الباب تعني من شق الباب while I was watching from like a small opening or a crack in the door قال أتاه رجل فقال أي رسول الله. A man came to him. He said, "Oh رسول الله إن نساء جعفر قال وذكر بكاءهن." You know now the wife of Ja'far radiallahu anha, her sister and her mother, and you know the women which are relatives of her, of his wife, you know they were crying loudly. And by the way, just another pause. Arabs in general before Islam, they used to have something called an-niyaha. An-niyaha, it's like sometimes maybe you see it in some of Arab movies. The women, they started to cry, to scream, to shout loudly, and they start to hit themselves, and sometimes they start to take their hairs like this, and sometimes they start to take the soil, the dust, and they start to put it, and sometimes they do shaq al-thiyab, which is, I don't want to, like for example, they hit their chest and they start tearing their clothes. This is called, okay, shaq al-sudur and al-niyaha. They using to praise the dead person. Yes, they said, oh, he was dead, oh, he was hit themselves, slap themselves, put the dust on themselves, and all of these things is prohibited in Islam. It's haram to do all these things. Not to have the feel, not to cry, it's natural. But to do all of these things, shaq al-sudur, and hitting the self, and putting these things, and you do these things, because it was like a special, let's say, job used to be done by women as a culture. Okay? By the way, it's not just a culture, it reached some certain cultures, they used to hire people to do this. They pay them. Yani a stranger in some Arab countries, they come, they pay her to cry and to do this thing. Wallahi. That's why in the Arabic examples they say ليست النائحة كالثكلى. Maybe you don't hear this. ليست النائحة كالثكلى. الثكلى is the woman who lost the very dear person to her, like the husband or the son. ثكلى مذكولة, which means she is crying out of pain, real genuine pain. النائحة is the hired woman. They paid her and say, go and cry on that dead person. She's thinking about the money and the nice meal that she will have after finishing. Even if she cries, now she's dreaming about. It's like some of us, when Bab al-Hara 10 years ago started, we used to pray the Taraweeh thinking about Abu Isam, al-Aqid, true or false? Yes or no? Well, like 10 years ago, when Bab al-Hara started, it's maybe the non-Arabs, they don't know what I'm talking about. It's a very, very, very well-known Syrian historical series. It did make a fitna for the Arabs in the Ramadan, while the people, they were waiting for Imam to finish the Taraweeh very quickly to catch the latest episode of this Arabic historical movie. Wallah, it was fitna. It was, wallahi, fitna. We used to tell them sometimes, okay, I'm praying the Taraweeh, but my mind is thinking about what? Abu Isam, Sutul Aqid, my mind is where? Busy with something else, not with the prayer. The same thing in Naiha. They hire her to cry, but it's not out of the heart. Now, what happened? نساء جعفر قال وذكر بكاءهن. A man, she did not mention who's this man. From the relatives, he came and said, Ya Rasulullah, they are doing such and such, screaming loudly and saying these words, which should not be allowed. خلاص يعني طبعا. قال فأمره أن ينهاهن. He said, go and command them not to do this. Stop it. What I explained to you. قال فذهب الرجل ثم أتى. He went and he came back. فقال قد نهيتهن وذكر أنه لم يطعنه. He said, I did command them that this is not allowed and stop it. No one listens to him from the women. They ignored him completely. قال فأمر أيضا فذهب ثم أتى. Then Prophet Muhammad again said, go and command them not to do it. He went and came back again. They did not listen to me, Ya Rasulullah, twice. Aisha says, قال والله لقد غلبننا. He said, they managed to beat me. I could not convince them. They are not listening. قال فزعمت أن رسول الله قال فحت في أفواههن من التراب. It's a very tough one to say, do such and such, let them stop it. Now Aisha, why she mentioned, قالت عائشة فقلت أرغم الله أنفك فوالله ما أنت تفعل وما تركت رسول الله من العناء. Aisha, she was very angry from who? From the man, the mediator. She said, woe to you, such and such for you. You never had to be strong enough to stop them, neither you left Rasulullah ﷺ or make his suffering less. You kept just nagging on him and coming again and coming again. Aisha was very angry from that person. فقالت رحم الله أنفك. She made like an accepted dua. Woe to you. What happened to you? The only thing that is left just to keep making Rasulullah ﷺ more sad, just leave him, as if she wanted to say what? Leave Rasulullah alone. It's like, imagine you are in a condolence. You are in a condolence now. You lost your son. You are in a very short. And one of your relatives, hey, the kids, they insist to play in that place. Shall I allow them? No, don't allow them. Hey, but they are insisting to play there. Shall I allow them? Ya Ammi, no. Leave me. But they are not listening to me. Shall I allow them? Okay. Ammi, go and do whatever you want. But they are not listening to me. Leave me alone. Okay? This was the context. But it's good to know how Aisha was thinking. She told us, رضي الله عنها. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. روى in another hadith narrated by Imam al-Tabarani Ibn Khuzaymah with a sahih isnad, chain of narrators. Abu Umam al-Bahili radiyallahu anhu, he narrated a very, very long hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He was narrating a ru'ya, just another pose, a vision or a dream. Now the vision of prophets are what? Part of the revelation. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam sees a vision, when he was, a dream while he was in sleep, it's part of the revelation. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used to either inspire him, let him feel the thing, or to see a ru'ya, a vision while he's in sleep, or to send Jibreel alayhi as-salam, either in his real natural, appearance, or as a man, like Dihya al-Kalbi. So one of the ways of revelation. So there is a hadith, Imam al-Bahili narrates about Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, one of the visions that he saw once a day. It's a long, long ru'ya. Part of this ru'ya related to Mu'tah. He said, قال فإذ أنا, he was saying, I saw such and such, and then they took me, the angels, into such and such and such. Then I was taken to a place and I met 3 people. They are drinking from a khamr, which is alcohol lahum. The word khamr, which is the drink that we use it in the dunya, in the akhirah, they will have the same name, which is khamr, but it does not contain the aspect of alcohol that make us losing our minds, but it has another, taste, another influence. So he saw them in the three people in the Jannah drinking from this kind of beautiful things. And I asked the angels who were accompanying me in this, let's say, journey, in the vision. من هؤلاء؟ قالوا, they replied to me, هؤلاء جعفر وزيد وابن رواحة. Then he saw three of them enjoying drinking with some kind of happiness in the vision, which means they are in the Jannah now, inshallah. قال ثم أشرفا بي شرفا آخر. Then they took me to another place earlier. فإذ أنا بنفر ثلاثة. That I saw another three. Like they were taken from this vision. Out of it, Zayd, Ja'far, Abdullah. Then they took them to another area. قال من هؤلاء؟ قال هذا إبراهيم وموسى وعيسى وهم ينتظرونك. They are Ibrahim عليه السلام, Musa عليه السلام, Isa عليه السلام. They are waiting for you. And by the way, this happened after Mu'tah. Happened in the 7th. Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, he passed away about 2 years and a half later. Because, after Amil Wufud, the delegations here, which is the 9th Hijrah, in the 10th, he passed away. So part of the preparation for Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam that by the way, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ was given more than an indication that he is leaving. And one of the indications, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا. When Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, one of the Sahaba, I forget whether he's Abdullah ibn Umar or Abdullah ibn Abbas, just realized, or Abu Bakr, I forget, I think Abu Bakr, when the Sahaba, they were listening to this ayah, they say, what do you think about this ayah? Said Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is giving glad tidings when the victor of Allah comes, say subhanallah. Just one, if I'm not mistaken, I think just Abu Bakr alone cried. They say, what? قَالَ نَعِيُ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is the indication that Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم has finished his mission and he is leaving. SubhanAllah. One of the amazing things happened because now here in this hadith, in this ru'ya, he was given the indication that you are coming soon. Khlas, you will leave this dunya. After Prophet Muhammad ﷺ passed away, Abu Bakr, in the reign, I think of time of Abu Bakr, they saw a very old woman, Sahabiya. She was crying heavily. They thought that she was crying because Muhammad ﷺ disappeared. They came just to make it easy for her, to say, Ya khala, ya amma, oh my grandma, take it easy, don't worry, we will meet him in the Jannah. قالت والله ما أبكي على موت رسول الله. She said, I'm not crying because he passed away. وإنما أبكي لانقطاع الوحي. Said, I'm crying because no revelation, which means connection with Allah directly anymore. Look what she was looking. She was not looking to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. She was looking what was Muhammad. He was what? The communication tool between us and Allah. So, finished. Khalas. Now we will use just description in the text. But there's no direct. Because she realized what does it mean when you said, Ya Rasulullah, ud'u Allah li. Oh Ya Rasulullah, pray for me. He said, Ya Allah, guarantee. What? Yes. Ya Allah, such and such, Ya Rasulullah, such and such. Next day, many of them, they ask you. Then the revelation comes. There's an answer with a group of, I ask him a question, Allah replies with an ayah. You know how beautiful it is? قد سمع الله قول التي تجادلك في زوجها وتشتكي إلى الله والله يسمع تحاوركما. خولة بنت ثعلبة صحابية. She has, it's a long story, but she has an issue with her husband. Big problem. Big issue with her husband. She came complaining to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The issues that she was asking about, to the best of the knowledge of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he gave her the fatwa, such and such. This fatwa will destroy her life. She was arguing, Ya Rasulullah, how come? If what you are telling me, I applied it, what will happen is such and such on my kids and such and such. She was arguing with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, تشتكي إلى Allah. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed Surah Al-Mujadala. Surah Al-Mujadala. قد سمع الله. Allah has heard the woman who was arguing with you, O Muhammad. And she was complaining to Allah, and Allah is listening to your dialogue. To a degree, look how beautiful it is. She's, look, I come in, Ya Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah. Then Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is in touch with the wahi. Where is Khawla? Come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala replied to your question. Full page, full surah. To a degree, at the time of Umar al-Khattab radiallahu anhu, it's one of the amazing stories. Umar al-Khattab, you know, Umar al-Khattab, he's the giant of Islam. The true, real founder of the pillars of the state of Islam. About 10 and a half or 11 years from political and military, you know, establishment for the Muslim state. So at that time he was, you know, he was very strong, and for many people he seems to be very, very tough. The people used to be afraid from him. He was passing by a very, very old woman. She called him in a very tough way. She said, Umar, you know, in a way just as if she's calling a young, you know, boy, just come to him. Then he left everyone, and he stood in a very humble way with her, listening to her. The people around him, they knew, Umar, it's not easy for him to do this. He has a lot of troubles. You know, he's fighting with the Persians, and he's fighting with the Romans, and he has a problem in Iraq and a problem in something. How come he left everyone in a very humble way? He just kept silent, looking, speaking with, and she was speaking with him, something and listening. Say, who's he? قال تلك التي سمع الله لها أفلا أسمع لها. She was Khawla. He said, this woman is, Allah had listened to her. Khawla bin Tha'lab. Allah revealed special surah that Allah listened to her shakwa. You don't want me to listen to her? He just, you know, kept himself silent, listening to her. Say whatever you want. I'm ready. Subhanallah. This is Khawla bin Tha'lab. I mean, the point, the communique قال وإنما أبكي لانقطاع الوحي, because خلاص, there's no revelation anymore. And the last one, inshallah, I finish, inshallah, بإذن الله. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. Look to this beautiful. قال Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم taking care of the sons of Ja'far. روى عبد الله بن جعفر. Now, one of the two sons of Ja'far, which Abdullah, says, اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد. قال فجيء بنا كأننا أفرخ. He was described, they were very young kids. After, because you know it was long distance, they passed away in Mu'tah, they are in the Medina. So when everything happened, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ asked them to bring the offspring of Ja'far to him. Abdullah bin Ja'far narrating, قال جيء بنا, we were brought to Prophet Muhammad كأننا أفرخ. Afroch, the plural of a chick, like small chicks, okay? Like a small chicks. We were just put to him. We don't know what's happening. We are very young, you know, small boys. قال ادعوا لي الحلاق. He asked the barber to قبل الحلاق. He shaved our heads. ثم قال, look what he did, Prophet Muhammad صلى الله عليه وسلم. It was a very amazing psychological way how to try to treat them psychologically, to make, you know, the disaster on them easy, because they have just lost their father. Now, they were told, now, your father passed away 1,000 kilometers. He asked them, he shaved their heads, then he came to them and he said the following, قال أما محمد فشبيه عمنا أبي طالب. He started telling them what distinguishes each one of them, as if he's giving them some kind of pride, some kind of like a gift or a medal. He said, as for Muhammad bin Ja'far, he looks like our great uncle Abu Talib. شبيه عمنا أبي طالب. قال وأما عبد الله فشبيه خلقي وخلقي. As for Abdullah, the narrator of the hadith himself, he said, he looks like me in my appearance and in my manners. He gives that one, which is true. He looked like his grandfather, and this one looks like his cousin. So every one of them gave him some kind of like a pride. قال ثم أخذ بيدي فأشالها. Then he took me from my hand فقال اللهم اخلف جعفرا في أهله وبارك لعبد الله في صفقة يمينه. Oh Allah, compensate the family of Ja'far in what they have faced with the lot of khair. قال وبارك لي في يمينه. Now which means, oh Allah, give him a lot of wealth and power in his life and barakah in his business and his money. Definitely, when Prophet ﷺ does this is what will happen in the future. قال فجاءت أمنا فذكرت له يتمنا وجعلت تفرح له فقال العيلة تخافين عليهم وأنا وليهم في الدنيا والآخرة. Now the mother of them, they are orphans now. She said, Ya Rasulullah, how I will be taking care of them? I have no support now. My supporter has passed away. How can I take care? He said, you are afraid of poverty or any type of need on them while I am their wali. I am their guardian and caretaker in this dunya and in the akhirah, which means don't worry about them. So he took care completely with any kind of their needs. And by the way, some people, they think Prophet Muhammad all the time was poor. He was not poor. He was not spending on himself, yes, but in many battles they used to have spoils. For example, Khaybar, the lands and the fruits of Khaybar is equal in our calculations now millions. They used to spend from this. They used to do kafala, okay? كفالة اليتيم شو ترجمتها؟ sponsoring. يس شوف والله كل نهار بحكيها ونسيتها. العربي والانجليزي خشوا في بعض هيك سبحان الله. 1000 محاضرة عن sponsoring orphans ونسيتها. الله يجزيك الخير. Yeah, so it was easy for him to take a decision. This is like an endowment, waqf, to sponsor the family of Ja'far. This is especially for the 2 kids of Ja'far, etc. It was not something complicated. Immediately, don't worry about him. I'm the sponsor of them. Finished on spot. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa rahimahullah rahmatan wasi'ah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bi'idhn al-Mawla azza wa jalla inshallah give us, let's say, the genuine and the pure intention to chase inshallah their path. Allahumma ameen. Next time, by the will of Allah, I have some kind of very short, small like battles, غزوة ذات السلاسل, still I'm thinking, I'm just reading and preparing. Either I will mention all kind of small, let's say, battles, or I will delete them completely. I will start with the conquer of Mecca. Still I'm thinking, because I'm preparing. It's either or, next time by the will of Allah. See you tomorrow with the tafsir of Allah. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.